A team that has swept some upsets in their time. Can they do it here with their backs against the wall? We're in the champion select for game 3, and it's all up to Clutch Gaming to keep this series alive.
Yep, and this isn't just a match point here for Echo Fox. This is also potential last game of the season of the year for Clutch Gaming, where they may not play another game for the next 4 or 3 months as a team. So this may be the last time you see them on stage here. They have to play their hearts out if they want a chance at another game, let alone to move on to make it to Worlds.
Well, we'll see how many heartstrings they can pull here in Champion Select. What can they do to Echo Fox to tear down that composition? Do they even focus Huni? It doesn't look like it. It's still towards the bottom. It's still towards Dardoch. Something that can focus Huni. And Urgot gets locked in on the side of Echo Fox right away.
Yep, and Urgot's something that we've talked about it before, is flexible. It's not necessarily just a top laner. You can also play it mid, and it almost works like a AD bully mid, but like a Galio in terms of tankiness later. So one of the things that people don't always think about is the Gargoyle of Stoneplate works incredibly well on him because he usually will stack some HP early, then he gets both resistances, then his W is based off of his HP, so having more of that increases the shield, and then he'll be able to true damage kill tanks. So going tanky and transitioning after being a lane bully is very effective for him. So we'll see with the flexibility too, if he can get a favorable lane matchup here for the Urgot, whether it is the top or the mid.
Interesting. They feel like the Aatrox may be something to throw into that, but as well, flex something on their side if this does become Lyra's solo. Picks up the Alistar for Hakuo, so they have that for sure initiation when they want to put the horns in the fight.
Yep, and I'm wondering if Xayah Rakan will come out. I'm always watching when people have 2 slots available and both them are up, if they go for it, or if they go for Dardoch's jungler here. But Olaf banned away, Sejuani, Kindred, you fall down the tier list.
Kaisa again.
Kaisa, ooh.
And Huni's Lucian.
Oh, not just Huni's. Remember, Damonte's.
Yeah, I know.
Too. Back in the TSM set, they were up 2 games to 1, and then TSM won the next 2. The 4th game, a lot of people say, was the pivotal one where they tried a Lucian mid for Damonte up against Bjergsen. That one did not work out.
Nope. You see that Vayne hover in the mid lane. Little love for Caps. And the other Vayne players, obviously.
Yeah, basically. I think you went through every marksman there.
Oh, Jinx.
Ah.
Xayah.
Xayah, Quinn, Lucian, Xayah, Sivir.
Tristana? No. Sivir gets locked. Really? So this is actually kind of Apollo wheelhouse back in the day. Apollo was the speed steroid of On the Hunt. Team goes to fight. Boom. Everybody's faster.
Yeah. It's also really good wave clear, so you can pretty much play whatever you want across the rest of the map. And the Ricochet will take care of a lot of the minions later on in the game, especially like Baron buffed up minions, because you will just crit across all of them. So I'm interested to see what this looks like for Clutch Gaming, because this looks like it's going to go late game for them, or at least they're hoping that it goes late game. The thing is, you're up against a Kaisa already, who's going to get the Rage Blade, synergizes very well with the Braum.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens here, because Clutch Gaming, this feels like more push the tempo. Use the Sivir to dive, use the Alistar to dive, use Apollo and Hakuho's lane instead of pivoting off of them to go top.
What do they dive with?
I feel like they might go, well, the Aatrox is already locked in. GP has been a little absent in this series.
I was going to say, we haven't seen any GP, because that covers the AoE, not having to move around the map. We have seen Ryze hover, but no Ryze take. Still good for dives to get in and out with a quick room prison. We see Syndra and LeBlanc, along with Zat, getting knocked out here. Phase 2. Febvin gets hit hard there, along with the other mid laner and Dardoch's jungle. So now into Phase 2 picks. See what Apollo has. It might be that Gragas again, as Lyra picked it up game 1.
Yeah, I actually think Gragas is fine here, because then you can flex him around. You could have Aatrox mid, Gragas top, and then pick your jungler. Or you could have the Gragas in the jungle, Aatrox top, and then pick your mid laner. And I've even seen some AP Gragas before in the mid lane, so.
Faker, playmaker.
Very, very flexible. Actually, that was one of my first in-person events, was the SKT versus Najin.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When Faker went crazy.
Yeah. That was a crazy event back in Season 2. I love that.
There was a lot of hype around him as a star player then. Still is, but he was on fire. There is the Ryze actually locked in here for game 3. Damonte is going to take that. So Febvin now one less champion for that pool. Heading over to see what he's got. Still, Syndra's been banned out. The Oriana's there. He plays a bit of the Galio. Do they lock in?
I think
The
it's Poppy.
hammer.
I think it's Poppy for the jungle for Dardoch.
Keeper's verdict is going to be in this game. Dardoch's going to be taking that one into the jungle. We'll see how he decides for the side of Clutch Gaming, and it's going to be Cassiopeia locked into that mid lane for Febvin, so he's going to be able to dish out the damage from his position. We saw Huni do it last game, so definitely a carry potential coming from that. But all of Clutch Gaming has to come together here in Game 3. Huni has been able to almost singly control these games. He's getting help from the team, but he has also absorbed a lot of pressure from Clutch Gaming that has just put him above where he's been playing all season for this series.
Yeah, they camped him. Wasn't enough. It's like they knock him down 5 times. He's like, it should have been 6.
That was a camping trip.
But Huni, highest damage in both of the games that they played, has been absolutely decimating solo. Now has one of the best top laners currently in the meta, considered by a lot of pros. And now he's up against one of the former best top lane champions in the Aatrox. But I'm interested in that Poppy. Dardoch on the Poppy. It's not that fast, clear champion. It's one that is about pathing, making sure you're efficient with your routes, going for some dives early, but also he's able to stop a lot of the engage. We talked about it at the very beginning, the engage of On the Hunt. Headbutt Pulverize. Now with the Gragas Body Slam, Dardoch can stop 2 of those 3 abilities from landing with his W, his Steadfast Presence. So he will be in charge of engaging and disengaging.
That's a good point. That Poppy W becomes very tricky to play around if you want to get into the fight. Haku is going to have to consider his timing, along with Lyra getting in. Match point for Echo Fox. Do they get the chance to move on? TSM is in front of them next, but Cloud9, the Gauntlet bosses, somewhere Smoothie would love to get a little revenge on a team that he was once on. We were saying before, Lost and Smoothie joined on week 6, day 1. Fun fact about that for Smoothie is that weekend they also lost to Cloud9 right off the bat. So Smoothie's itching to just get to that final game already. He's not looking past this though. They still got to take down Clutch.
Oh, W. Boom, boom, boom. That's an easy kill pickup there.
Deja vu, game 1. A few more seconds and Lear was at his 2nd tier turret, flash blown.
Yep. And this is where
getting the wards in.
Solo is going to be going up and ooh, good flash there from Lost. I don't know how much time did he have to react to that, because Alistar came out of the bush there. So
I don't know. We'll get Professor Kobe on it.
It was quite quick though. I don't think the Alistar was not sitting around for long.
Because Wild Turtles was faster than a fastball, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. What was that one?
Actually, Hakuho came from the side, so yeah, he just
maybe
had to predict that it was going to happen. Saw the range and saw it in his eyes.
Faster than a wiffle ball.
You can tell when he's going to go for it.
Got him.
But still, that 1 kill over on that little ward will give experience over to Huni. I don't know who else was there with him. I think it might have been Demonte, but gives them a little bit more. Yeah, Solo going to get damaged as he enters the lane with the shotgun knees.
Ooh.
And this
he has no way to turn around, so it's only a few knees.
Basically, he's early levels. The Urgot is like a tanky version of Jace. So when people kind of caught on to that, they're like, yeah, just stand behind the minion wave. Just push him out of the lane. Like, Huni doesn't even care about the CS. He just lost 3 CS. Wait. Uh-oh.
Did he? Maybe he does care. We have a pause. So a quick pause here in the beginning of game 3 as we start things off. Let's see what they're discussing. Missed CS. XD face. So we'll get that situated for the teams. Lost going through Clutch Gaming on your screen here. They seem to be in good spirits, even after the situation's going down. At best of 3, you kind of need to be able to shake off each, best of anything, sorry, this is the best of 5. You need to be able to shake off anything and be ready for the next trouble to come your way, or even the next success here, and be able to take that in stride. We'll figure out what we have for the situation and get right back into game as soon as possible.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But definitely want to talk about the compositions against each other. Huni will be able to win the top lane as the Urgot against the Aatrox with that range. Dardoch has the Predator for some extra pressure on the Poppy. A lot of people, like I said earlier, have swapped to the Predator for just being proactive and making sure that they're able to run around the map and be out there and able to gank efficiently. And we'll see what he's able to do, because he does stop a lot of that engage. Damonte is in a matchup that's better for Febivin with the Cassiopeia countering the Rise. And then this bottom lane kind of goes either way depending on abilities and supports and who lands what. And especially with Lost missing his flash right now, it's pretty bad for him because another Alistar Headbutt Pulverize would put him in a pretty bad spot.
And I miss seeing both lanes playing with the Hex Flash. They kind of just sit there and troll each other for a second, flash out of everywhere. I'm waiting for Smoothie and the rest of the players with a little bit of lag again. As they said, they're feeling disjointed in their movements. So get that fixed up and load it back into the game before we get back on the Rift.
Yeah, well, hopefully that's resolved quickly. But like you were saying about Echo Fox, match point, if they beat Clutch Gaming here, they move their all-time record against them to 9-1 throughout the year over the course of 10 games. And then the other thing is they would move on to play TSM, the team that they lost to in 5 games in the quarterfinals. Huni's worst finish in any playoffs he's ever played in. He's always made it to the finals or the 3rd, 4th place match. He's never dropped out in the very beginning, in the quarterfinals. So he wants revenge for that. He was sick that day. It still went 5 games. He wants redemption. And then also, if they make it to the final round against Cloud9, like you said, Smoothie would love to play his old team, Cloud9, deny them Worlds for the first time since Cloud9 was an organization.
That would actually be incredibly crazy to see that happen, especially with the stride Cloud9 had at the end of the season. Coming up a little short, they are still a very big powerhouse in the NA LCS this season. 2.5 minutes as we're just getting to level 2s. We'll see Clutch, Hakuo, and Apollo here receive that under the turret. So Smoothie and Lost not going aggressive right off the bat, so they don't receive that headbutt pulverize answer. Febivin and Damonte kind of doing what I call the horizontal farming as you switch to the river portions, knowing you're trying to stay safe and not take too much minion aggro if you do go in for the fight.
Well, you also play to whatever side your jungler's on. Typically.
Of course.
If you mess that up and you play to the wrong side, then the enemy jungler just ganks you there, right?
It just feels weird. You're like, there's this really dark zone behind me, and I don't know what's there.
Well, that's absolutely. You should play to where your vision is, and your jungler is on that side too, typically.
Absolutely.
So it's something that a lot of mid laners don't always do, and it gets a little frustrating because then they just have their back to a gank. And if you are the other mid laner, you are in a great spot because the other jungler has to run all the way across. And let's see, when Lyra... Oh,
there's a good push.
What?
There's a great push from Febivin onto Damonte, so that means he's going to get there first. I think they've called Echo Fox out of this one. Word for Feb comes up, and it looks like they have made it to safety in time.
That check there by Lyra, where he's like just making sure he's peeking all the way around the corner, just like, is he there? And just rubbernecking it around and able to see Dark.
Causes accidents, don't do that.
That's true, that's true.
Don't want to get hurt. A nice one shot there. And Solo just goes back to waiting for the farm to come in. It looks so oppressive to farm against their guy. He's just like, I'm back here. I just have this giant sword I can swing once and a while. Febivin 26 to 28 is it's pretty even here on the mid lane, and really what you have, machine gun mages. These two are going to be standing tall in the fight, looking to stay there and deliver the damage. So I can't wait to see what happens when they hit face to face here with some core items. And Lyra picks up Scuttle for more vision on the bot side.
Yeah, and both these mid laners want to get a tier as soon as possible and start stacking it up, but you want Damonte to TP back, and since Febivin doesn't have teleport, he wants to have enough of a shove that he can get a good recall off and not be punished by the fact that he doesn't have TP. And now, Lyra's going to go for the enemy Krugs here, because he saw Dardoch took his Krugs. Oh, actually, no, he's not going to loop for it. He just goes and pings for it. Okay. Decides not to, because there's a possibility. That's so interesting, because Dardoch's route is actually really weird, because he went for his blue, didn't clear his wolves, didn't clear his buff, or sorry, didn't clear his... what is it, the Gromp? Yeah, the Gromp. Man, why can't I think of it right there? He buys his Predator boots, Predator's out of the base so he can get to his Krugs faster, so that he could potentially contest Lyra. So if he was able to catch him there, that would have been huge. But it means that he just actually gets more camps. So Dardoch's going to be way ahead in experience.
Already having a good clip in each game, Dardoch has been able to control from the jungle, giving Huni a little bit. Like we said, Huni's kind of been servicing for himself as well in a lot of fights, but having a lead, Dardoch's been always able to pressure it. And the first time we're not seeing him on Olaf throughout the series as well. So even with more pressure, becomes a little bit less as he can't fight as much as he wants to, the Dardoch style.
Yeah, but the Poppy is still going to be a champion that's quite good at having those early ganks with the Blue Smite and the Predator. You just kind of roam around the map, and keep in mind, Poppy's E is now a 1.6-second stun against a wall at rank 1, and it ranks up to a 2-second stun. And one of the big things about playing against the Poppy is you never know if you should get Merc Treads or if you should get Ninja Tabi, because you really want to buy Merc Treads against anything that's like a 1.5 or higher seconds, especially a 2-second stun. You definitely want that. But she does physical damage and percent HP, so you want to have some armor. So she actually is one of the champions that it's hard to figure out which boots you should be exactly buying against her when you factor in her and the team composition. This one, I feel like you should definitely go Merc Treads, because there's a lot of stuns, and there's some roots too. The Braum, you also have the Rise, and then the Poppy. But it can usually go either way depending on what's the Aatrox going to want here, right? He's up against a physical top half of the map for him. Probably wants to go for the Ninja Tabis.
Full solo into a fight, almost getting him tagged onto the wall, but he gets himself just far enough away, lets the team know they can be informed in their movements now, and Lyra's gonna push into the river here, find Dardoch.
Yeah, but Dardoch, level 6, Lyra wants to contest that Scuttle Crab. If he can get it, that'll get bloop, a little bit of that away from him.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can see even a Scuttle Crab difference did not allow Lyra to catch up and get level 6 there. And also the fact that that E did not hit the wall was huge, because Huni, remember, he has that ultimate, the Execute. Yep. And if Solo was a little bit lower, he would have been able to pull him back in. Even though the ultimate will go off, it'll still reposition him, I believe, towards him.
We did see that it pulled the teleport out of Solo. It looks like Huni will be able to walk back to lane. He may just decide to keep full pressure on and not, but he is waltzing out of the base right now. Nope, there, now he teleports.
Yeah,
Make me a liar.
That always happens, that always happens. Oh, he turned!
Gotta be careful, Damonte's low, the headbutt pulverize comes in, they stack the CC nicely, and the last few fangs come through. The kill actually goes to Haku, though. Dardoch coming up on the Lyra, and here is also Smoothie to finish that one off as the supports come up big.
Yeah, they end up getting the counter kill onto Lyra there, who had flashed forward, or had flashed to try and get out of it, but that was huge. Febivin actually catches Damonte in the Q animation, because Rise can't throw spells over his shoulder. Hold on, another stun against the wall on the Aqua. He's not level 6.
Getting hit. That sticky lollipop cannot feel comfortable just going all up against your Snuggie. Like, that's got to be weird. Haku, I know, right? Haku gets out of that, but Dardoch is still looking to put down that candy pressure down at the bot side. Now Apollo just wants to farm. He's not down too much CS, so it won't hurt that much.
Smoothie teaming up with Dardoch here, being very aggressive on the map.
Uh-oh. We're getting to fight. Apollo knocked up, hit down, trying to get a flash out. Steadfast presence is down, and he will be able to get the safety as concussive blows just short from locking him up. A little pressure from Huni on the top side still allows this pressure on the bottom side with teleports down to continue to happen.
Yep, and Huni swapped over to have Ignite here,
that's a good point.
Potential for some kills.
Sounds like Huni.
We'll see. Has the Cull in this matchup too to make sure that he can get some extra burst of gold later. But watch this. The Q animation from Rise. He can't throw spells over his shoulder. He has to face. So Q, and that's where he catches him in that animation with the grounded on top of it. So he can't even flash away until he actually runs all the way around that little bump there in the terrain. And then Dardoch was there with enough mana to combo, and then Lyra had to flash away, still dies. So a counter kill goes down. For that first blood, going over to Hakuho, unfortunately, but the assist with Febivin.
Full support's getting a little love on that one. The first time we've seen first blood really being towards the bot side of the map this game, but they came to mid, truthfully enough. Huni and Solo back and forth. We're seeing now with that Phage, he's able to kind of trade back onto Huni within minions. I think that kind of really goes in favor of Solo if he can start dodging her out the shotgun knees.
Yeah, I think Solo won that trade because he actually got a mini knockup on Huni's E. So he started the E, the disdain, and then he got mini knockup by the Aatrox Q. So that just completely went out of the window.
Hi, Damonte, low on mana. He's going to get knocked up. Petrifying Gaze only slows him, but the party cast puts him in. And the kill secured by Febivin. That's the one you're looking for clutch.
Exactly. Febivin had a great game last game. Just go to this lane. It's a counter matchup for the Cassiopeia. There's no flash on Damonte on the Rise, so just give him that pressure and now kind of set this Cassiopeia up for success, because we're kind of having a Cass-off here where Huni played it last game. The other former Fnatic member is going to pick it up this time and see what he can do with it.
Well, giving a little more power to Febvin would not be a bad thing right now.
Oh,
if
absolutely.
you keep going after DeMonte, he doesn't really have a way to get out of these cleanse situations, or to cleanse a situation, I should say. And Febvin can continue to chase through Room Prison, through the CC he'll receive. So the more the merrier for Febvin in mid lane right now as he gets that Seraph's Embrace stacked up.
Yeah, and that's kind of where you want to put the pressure here as Clutch Gaming. Going to that top lane, you understand that the Urgot is going to do work on the Aatrox. Might as well just go towards that Rise a bit. The bottom lane seems like it's a bit of a wash right now between the two.
Yeah.
But you're waiting for that big item break point. First one to come out.
A little disrespectful on the pathing there. Hakuo said, we'll trade damage. And nobody really worse for the wear there. World Ender coming down as Dardoch comes out of the woodwork on Solo and causes him to play a little reactive. Lyra on the edge, Drunken Rage is on. He's gonna use it for Krugs to start off. Still 2 turrets. Fox doesn't even care that they're fighting between the structures of Clutch Gaming right now. They have the map control and looking to see where Febvin is actually pushed up in here. He's made it into the lane on the top side.
Yeah, and now here comes the minion wave. Remember, you only have to get somebody to 25%, and then Huni can just execute them. Dardoch, there's the Predator, sectioning them off. They might go after Solo if he can land one of these.
Keepers, burners. A little tail in the air.
Woo! Get him!
Doing the Realm Warp, bringing a few forward. Solo flashes, and he is trying to get away. The chains don't draw anybody back, and Huni's gonna be able to get the slow on. Shotgun knees are dropping Solo down, but he's still got the movement speed to make it to safety. Dardoch not in range. Febvin gonna throw miasma out to stop them, and they are not able to save Solo as Petrifying Gaze only slows Echo Fox. It does not stop them.
Yeah, that was a interesting fight, and it ended up with the Keeper's Verdict taking Febvin out of it, and then Solo has to run for the hills. Like, he didn't want to ditch the minion wave. He didn't want to ditch all that experience that's sitting up there. So Echo Fox kind of forced that to happen, where they cleared the minion wave, were wrapping around the turret, and then they put Solo in this situation where he couldn't go off to the right. He had to go off to the left and kind of run it down the lane. And right there, here comes Hakuo.
Well, lost in a really bad spot. 3v1 is Smoothie, leaves him to Glacial Fissure, but also leaves him. Heads out to the left side of the fight, and Clutch Gaming pick up another kill.
Oh, but the top lane, Huni's gonna get the first turret, and it's Urgot off on the right foot.
There's Fardox. Dardox. Fox Dardoch. Does not work out if you say both together.
Wait, who's gonna get the eye? The eye!
Hey, you have 40 seconds.
You left it!
Plus 40 seconds, but you can grab
Huni's?
it.
Is Huni gonna go grab it?
Like, yeah. Looks like Huni's gonna grab it. That's one of my favorite things about Rift Herald, is that if there is a really big fight, you have a chance to go and get it. No way. You have to be kidding me.
Oh boy.
That is, so this is the Medios we play well thing.
Is this,
as he was saying on the analyst desk.
Is this how it begins?
This is the we play well.
Is this where the tilt comes in?
The mental boom.
You can pinpoint it back to this exact.
Oh! Press F to pay respects.
I don't think I've ever actually left it behind accidentally, but I've definitely been pushed away from.
I'm gonna laugh when they go into lane and they take a turret and you see Dardoch put a ward down right near the turret. And he's just like, yeah, you thought that was Rift Herald.
Well, the thing is you don't always use Rift Herald like that. You kind of just look down and you're like, oh yeah, I still have that thing. Like, you're like, been farming for 2 minutes. It gives you a warning. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's actually about sending a message. We took it, but we don't want it.
He wants to be able to ward still. That's what it is.
It's really cost effective.
Yeah. Oh man, the worst is when like I have the highest vision score on my team and I get Rift Herald and then I can't ward until I use it. So I throw it down and I have like 2 wards to use. I want to swap this out for Sweeper now. I'm at that point in the game.
L2Ps, Irene.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I throw it out faster. Or take it later, I don't know. One of the two.
Blue buff here for Febvin as he continues to stack up. Where is this gentleman anyways? He is at 580 of 750 on that tier, so still got a little ways to go.
He's 580, but then DeMonte's 296.
Smoothie getting churned up here. It looks like he might be able to make it out safe. Double knocked up there. Spell shielded by Apollo as they start going into Kathy, and the rain coming in from Lost. Lyra gets out. Ignite's going to take him down, though, and that's going to be a hit from Lost, so big pickup there. Solo teleports in, but it looks like he wants out of this fight immediately. As Huni is going to be able to lock him down. A few more knees, and Fear Beyond Death gets him out with the World Ender, but it looks like they'll end his world right quick as he comes back up. 30 seconds on the death timer as they take down bottom tier 1.
Yeah, and Febvin was completely zoned away from that fight. The Cassiopeia actually was not able to roam. Even though he's ahead, he has the completed item, and he's way ahead right now in terms of the kills and what he has against Damonte. But Damonte was able to get there first and zone him off, so the Fed member of Clutch Gaming was not able to be in that fight at all.
Let's see one more. Yeah, so Febin had to wait. They don't have the vision here, and he's walking down through dark.
He had to wait for Dardoch to really show up, and then Damonte comes over from this side, and he can't go forward. He's just throwing Qs at him. He's going to get zoned off here. Lyra's already dead. The TP's coming through. Solo completes it, and Febin doesn't really get to do much. He just gets rooted. Damonte's doing his job, keeping him out. That was really well played there, because he was afraid of maybe getting collapsed on. You can argue that he maybe should have gone harder onto Damonte, but Damonte was doing a good job of keeping him at arm's reach, or arm's length.
As small as those Rise arms are.
Not like a reworked Akali's where they stretch a lot.
Stretchy Akali Armstrong. Predator boots coming back up for Dardoch. Might look for some more plays here as we're 3.5 minutes away from that 20-minute mark from Baron. Spawning on the top side of the map and drawing a little bit more focus from each team's vision. Right now, the pink wards for Clutch Gaming are kind of protecting that side, making sure red is theirs and at least their main buffs, as Echo Fox has been a real nuisance in each game. Dardoch's been able to be in Lyra's jungle quite a bit.
Yeah, and even when things look like they're even, there's always a gold lead for Echo Fox off of the fact that they have better CS in most of their lanes. It's just how it works slightly, and they end up with pretty much a natural like 1,000 gold lead just off of lanes. Even when I feel like there are some favorable matchups for Clutch Gaming, they just don't pressure them as hard and have the vision control to have people press up. And so a bit of that is on Lyra, and the fact that Dardoch has just been so good against him time and time again. Like we said, if they win this one, Echo Fox are 9-1 against them all time. And Febin!
Oh, that's huge. That's the initiation. Could be the cast from Lyra. They almost take down Febin as Hakuo has to use Unbreakable Will to get himself to safety. So much in defense happening. The cast goes out. Smoothie's going to try and stand on the turret. The team needs to take it so he doesn't go down. And Solo World Enders again. They're using ults to call the bluff of Echo Fox, but Echo Fox is staying for the fights, and Solo now needs to regroup with the team as they keep themselves completely safe here. They only lose Lyra in the fight.
Yeah, but that's the third time they've lost Lyra. Solo, 2 deaths as well. Those are the guys who have been dying, is that top half of the map. And those are the guys who have been thriving on Echo Fox's side, is that top half of the map for them. The mid lane here has been something where Damonte is kind of the one taking the brunt of it, where he got camped a bit from Lyra and Febin, but they haven't been able to kind of unlock Febin here for the rest of the game.
Really haven't. We saw that one hit towards mid. You got a little bit of love, and then it's kind of been used that power. He's like, I need a little bit more. If I want to be a side lane, if I want to be able to affect right now, they're getting pushed in so hard. He has to play kind of that, where do I go next? Who needs my help? Instead of follow me to make this fight happen. And right now, it's Solo that needs a little bit of help as he gets pushed in by Huni. Dardoch's going to be there as well. And Echo Fox is just everywhere as Clutch Gaming tries to be in their own jungle.
Yep, Dardoch and Smoothie have actually made a really good combo throughout this series. The gank's top lane where Smoothie roamed up with Dardoch, the fact that they keep contesting the blue buff like this, it's kind of like they're doing a lot of the work of the jungle support synergy and like warding and clearing things out together. And Lost is the one who gets time to farm up the lanes, doesn't really have to get touched in at all, and they have to put himself at risk. And they're doing a lot of the work in terms of just cycling the jungle and keeping Lyra behind. And now they've swapped the map too. This is 4 members of Echo Fox bottom side, 2 members of Clutch Gaming top side. If they try to make a power play here, Echo Fox might be able to get a tier 2 turret.
Yeah, once they see him up top, hits on to Lyra. He stays safe, but Flash is down. And Echo Fox really just having the chance to say, we can take this fight. We can even go a little greedy. We can take this fight, and we can even go a little greedy. They have such a window to play with. It's going to be one of those situations where you could lose a few fights, still be right and ready to get back in the game. Baron is spawning now, though, so that can change quite a few things. We'll have to see who goes for it first. Vision will be there right away.
Yep, have to watch out for the Cassiopeia with the Mountain Drake from Clutch Gaming, and you also have to watch out for the Kaisa for Echo Fox, because both these guys can shred down that Baron. The Cassiopeia would really like to have a blue buff in order to do it, which has just been constantly taken away by Echo Fox, which kind of lends itself to the fact that, hey, you know, even though Damonte hasn't been doing too well, the rest of the team is catching up and kind of picking up the slack there.
I like how this has been one of the series as well, where champions are somewhat traded back and forth. We see the Urgot again, but now on the side of Echo Fox, the Cassiopeia taken on the side of Clutch Gaming now.
Yep, and Huni, even though the Cassio is something he didn't play this game, he got that first pick. Urgot started Cull, has been bullying the matchup, 28 CS up, 2 levels up right now over Solo. He's got the Righteous Glory completed. He's going for what I would believe to be either the Adaptive Helm, or I would believe, not the Adaptive Helm. It's going to be the Gargoyle Stone Plate. It's going to be the Gargoyle Stone Plate. Yeah.
I mean, why not? You can throw on the W and then get some good stats out of that.
It's very, very effective. Shields himself based on his HP. And then I believe that shield also lasts when the Gargoyle Stone Plate goes down. So when you have that extra HP on the shield, you still absorb that much damage, and you'll deal your normal amount of damage, because Gargoyle Stone Plate usually cuts how much you're doing.
Seems applicable if you're going to be a gigantic tank.
Yeah. I
want to lower that damage. Well, right now, no damage being reserved from Echo Fox as they take down second tier on top side. 4-0 in turrets now. It's always good to think there's a lot of gold on the map for Clutch, but they are not able to come to it. No end of the rainbow here on Summoner's Rift for Clutch at this point. 38,000, 39,000 as it ticks over to 33.5. Quite a bit. Echo Fox, Huni playing so good all series long. We've said it before, it was the question if he would come in, and he's been able to do a bit on his own, also with a bit of help. Lost and Smoothie, a combination we were also thinking could be a weak spot, came out to play for Echo Fox. So things are looking good as Echo Fox could move forward with a 3-0 in the first regional qualifier.
Yeah, it's kind of get it out of the way, get down to business, and then that's the thing too, is you don't get much time for your opponents. Literally, you play again tomorrow, right? You play again tomorrow, 2 p.m., and you have to be ready to go for the next one. So,
and somebody just watched you, your opponent, do all of this as well, so they're better informed on what to do tomorrow.
Now, granted, I think they'll probably be scrimming each other in some degree, because who else are you going to scrim? A lot of those teams that are already going to Worlds, are taking off or have a vacation for a tiny bit. The people who are now didn't make playoffs or Gauntlet aren't really playing. So you have about 4 teams that you would scrim between. So you would assume that they've at least scrimmed each other a decent amount, unless everybody's trying to get Cloud9. That would be the one where you're like, okay, might be a little tough to get that.
And they say, here's the Academy.
And look at that. There's the Rise. And they have Poppy on it. Pakuo is going to try to check it here. He has wards. Oh, we
slowly moving him up with
go.
inches. He just needs to get in there. They did put the alteration orb in there.
Lyra steal this.
Lyra just on the outside, cast them to get it denied, but Smoothie's going to be able to pick it up in the end, so there was definitely a chance for that to happen. Here comes Huni around the outside, but he is stopped quickly by Solo. Huni may have gone a little too greedy as he gets knocked back and thrown around. Ping pong status. Lyra over the wall along with the rest of the team, and they are going to be able to drop Huni. Solo picks up a kill for himself as Dardoch is very low, a sliver of health as he makes it out of the fight, and Damonte starts to run for the hills as Clutch Gaming start to bite back a little bit.
That was so clutch by Smoothie. He actually swapped to Smite with his Summoner Spellbook to secure it. He has Smite right now. What happens is Lyra goes in, smites it, and then Smoothie smites it at the same time right afterwards. Dardoch did not even press his button. That's why you see the Ignite cooling down very quickly for Smoothie, because he just had the Smite. Very heads-up play there to just make sure that they can secure it. I love seeing that. Teams are doing it more and more where they swap to a Smite just for the Baron, just to burst it down, and they have multiple unsealed spellbooks on the side of Echo Fox to make a play like that.
Definitely not something Lyra was expecting. Usually you'd see kind of cast into Smite. He cast to then go Smite, thinking the disruption was there.
Well, he wanted
only be challenging one.
Yeah, he wanted to stop Dardoch's ultimate from knocking him out. So he wanted
that
to
as well.
That channel, yeah.
A lot of little things that play into the favor of Echo Fox here. Now they're on the mid-inhib turret. Bot lane being pushed in by Damonte as he's kind of been off on the wing very much so playing off the ball, as that's the rest of Echo Fox down mid lane using this Baron. And we haven't talked much about Demonte coming in around week 4 for Echo Fox. Really a solid player in the mid lane when they needed to kind of just shore up positions in the roster.
And there's still been a lot of kind of question marks about him because he is an NA mid, and there's always a lot of speculation about, always a lot of scrutiny of, oh, did they just get lucky? How good are they actually? And Demonte
takes 4 MVPs. And
Demonte has shown that he's able to kind of hang with the best of them here.
For sure.
And really, we'll see as his career progresses how much he can go into the category of, is he a pop-off player? Is he a consistent player?
Yeah.
We have a lot of mid laners, like somebody like Pobelter, that kind of goes between the two of them, tries to stay in consistency, but then it can have pop-off moments. But then there's people like Bjergsen, where 100% he's in that pop-off, try to win the game, get on his shoulders, get in his backpack. And Demonte here showed some consistency. Got camped, still able to win the lane afterwards, and have that 30 CS advantage going into the late game.
Dardoch used the ultimate to get Febvin away, and they may not have what they need to take the inhibitor down. Inhibitor goes down, but Huni may follow as the rest of Echo Fox says, we need to get out safely. That's a realm warp. And Demonte, being the nice guy, lets everybody take it, as he has already made it past the realm warp point. They're going to take Cloud Drake, and now it's kind of recuperation time for Clutch Gaming. How much vision and how far can they get it out on the map before Echo Fox is right down their throat again?
And that was Lyra with a great explosive cast, just separating them. Even though the Gargoyle Stone Plate was popped, Huni was just in pretty much a situation you cannot conquer, being that far away from your team and in that many people at that time. So Huni, he gets blown up by the fact that Lyra put down the cask, but you have to beg the question here. Those plays aren't happening sooner for Clutch. Whenever they're pushed with their backs up against the wall, that's when they finally make the play, but it's too late at that point. That's just a drop in the bucket to try and get back in the game. They've already lost the mid turret. They've already lost the mid inhibitor. And Echo Fox, they've been a little bit greedy. Granted, those plays do jump out at you in those moments because they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, because they're trying to get too much with their power play, and it backfires. Like we just saw, it's only a 3,000 gold Baron power play when they got multiple turrets.
Twice they have kind of committed to chasing down Huni. Once was right here and then into mid, and we just saw that in base. Hard for that Urgot to get away once he's in the fight. They can get that explosive cask into a good spot. They force Dardoch in, they force Smoothie in. Like you said, it's only happening when their backs are against the wall, so forced on top of forced. It's not a good situation to start on. Ward cleared here as Smoothie finds the rest of Clutch. Infernal Change is going to bring Huni in once again, but there, Dardoch is there this time to help them out. Nice steadfast presence onto Hakuo to deny that engage. Mess things up a little bit.
Here's the split push, though. And you can see Lost on the top side, damaging the turret. And then on the bottom side, Demonte is doing the same thing. Level 17 for him.
The absolute pull your hair out moment when you don't know which place to go, who to stop, and where to start the fight first. It looks like bot turret's going to go down soon to Demonte, and Lost is not giving up on the top side. Another great thing you want to see from teams that are going to push on, whoever it be, is that they keep that mentality. They don't push themselves in these situations into greed. They know how to keep it steady.
And they're forcing.
Solo, a world ender as the inhibitor goes down, and he also will fall. Focus now changing to Apollo for a moment as Solo gets back to safety. Lyra drips one out for the cast, and everybody on the team that's gone down. And Huni will turn on the shotgun knees to take down the last bit of wave in front of the inhibitor as it also falls. Coming up on 30 minutes, safety and realm warp to the bot side of the map. The final inhibitor stands in front of Echo Fox.
Yep, 10,000 gold lead for them. 29.5 minutes in. Echo Fox, they've been playing this series pretty fast. It has been one that, the kills have not been enormous. It's been a more controlled style here. They've had some kind of flubs every now and then, but this is 8 turrets to 0, an overwhelming map advantage across almost every lane for Echo Fox. Even in the lane that was counterpicked by Clutch Gaming with the Casio, Febvin just has not been able to get much in these later game fights.
He really hasn't, and he's keeping himself somewhat in a safe position. The team themselves have, although it's 6-5, denied more kills than other games, are just not finding their way into these fights. Clutch Gaming is having trouble putting any of these strategies together to get themselves back in.
Yeah.
Demonte out to the side. Lost probably out to the side as well as they continue to push.
Well, now they get picked apart by a 1-3-1, whereas this team was built for hard engage. You are supposed to use the on the hunt and your
Killer Instinct onto Hakuo. Unbreakable Will goes down, but can they break it? Apollo on the hunt, giving Hakuo a little bit more movement speed, and now they back up. Feels good to have 2 ultimates down if you need to do something else.
Yeah, 2 ultimates down, and the Baron's on the table in 5 seconds here. This is something that they can go towards. Super minions pushing top and in mid, and you can see Solo's flanking, but look at that, a catch!
Dardoch right onto Hakuo, and his Unbreakable Will is down. He just used it to kind of flex into that fight. Solo gets caught as well. World Ender's already on. That's 4 ultimates used to start off these fights for Clutch Gaming, and Febiven is now going to be left with his on the front line. It's a dash in for Dardoch. There's Huni onto Apollo, and Febiven shutting down the DPS. Disdains Febiven back, puts him right in the frying pan, and they're gonna make some snake shoes out of Clutch Gaming on that one. Lyra heads for the hills. He's out of the base, and Fox looks to make this a 3-0 as they bring in the rest of the minions.
They say, we're taking care of business, 3-0. They move to a 9-1 record against Clutch in the year, showing a dominant performance against this team and shutting them down almost every single time.
Echo Fox coming in strong, the favored team to take down Clutch Gaming, and Echo Fox will quickly jump over that fence, if you will. They'll quickly take down Clutch Gaming, and Echo Fox will take the first NA regional match.
And Echo Fox will move on to tomorrow to have a rematch against TSM from their quarterfinals. That 5-game series was a nail-biter. Huni was not in the best of health, and Echo Fox want to say that that was a fluke, that they should have moved on, that it was just nature getting the best of Huni there. And now, things will be different.
GG's all around. The man on your screen right now, Huni, playing fantastic from the top side. Dardoch allowing that to happen as well with the strength, but everybody coming together very well for this Echo Fox team.
And a lot of people were saying, what happened to Huni? What happened to his style? He's playing the same way. They put him on tanks for a bit. He was getting killed very early on in a lot of their games, a lot of level 3 deaths. This was Huni back in form, having Dardoch come to his lane multiple times. Even the time he got camped and he was playing Cassiopeia, he was still able to absolutely destroy that game.
That was crazy. The Cassiopeia Huni game was actually pretty intense, and we wondered, when was the last time he played this? This guy's 2-1 all time on top lane Cassiopeia, and now he's 3.
You know, my favorite part of that 2-1 stat was that they popped in on the side for his Cassiopeia was that it was a 1.3 KDA. Like, people have like 8.3 KDAs. They have like 10 KDAs when their champion is like really bonkers, or 5 or 4. 1.3 literally means he's getting like a killer assist per death. Like, getting above a 1.0 KDA should be pretty easy, but he gets camped a lot on it, but he still finds relevance. So he's destroying games even when he gets beaten up early.
Ride or die, dude. To hear more about the first victory of the Gauntlet, let's hand it over to Avali for an interview with the Echo Fox top laner.
Thanks, guys. Huni, congratulations on the win. Now, in Game 2, we saw you pick the Cassiopeia in response to the Urgot pick. And then in Game 3, we saw you say, Clutch Gaming, I'm going to show you how it's done. You picked Urgot yourself. So what made you so confident on that champion today?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, I did Huni, which is like winning both sides. Like, I don't care about bursting Urgot. I don't care about picking just blinding as I was like first pick Urgot. I'm just ready to smash everyone.
Now, you smashed today, you went 3-0, but one play that had us all scratching our heads was what happened with the Rift Herald in Game 3?
I still don't know what happened there, actually. Our jungler trolled it there? Anyone knows? Anyone idea? Can you guys tell me? He really didn't pick it up yet? 9x for sure.
No one picked it up. We were all scratching our heads. We thought you were going for it at one point, and then everyone just kind of based and left it alone. But I mean, today with the 3-0, you look like you're feeling a lot better, especially with your play. And with having the 3 weeks of practice behind you and feeling healthier, what was the difference in coming in today versus your best of 5?
Yeah, I mean, I did comment about what happened at the quarterfinals, even though like I was like got food poisoning, and then like I could not eat like 3 days in a row, and that was my first time playing League after Dawn week 9, which is like really awful. Like, that's why I was like really feeling bad and performed not really well, like as much as I can. But for this time, looking towards versus TSM for tomorrow, which is second round for Gauntlet. Even though I had a food poisoning before, it was like really close series, which is like 2-3. I mean, without food poisoning, what else can it be? Just gonna be smash TSM.
So diving a little bit deeper in that, besides not having food poisoning, what makes you feel so confident that you're going to be able to take them down in this rematch tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, which is like we had a lot of practice going on, like 3 weeks. I know my teammates did really well for practice, like not wasting time. And for sure, they tried really hard because we know absolutely that's like, it could be last about 2018 of the practice in North America, which is like, I don't want to stop my career here. And also my teammates is going to be feeling the same thing. So that's why we showed it. And that's why we 3-0 easily clutch gaming. Even though it's clutch gaming was not like really best team or like strong team in NA, still we made 3-0. We got the confidence on it. And we're going to show again for tomorrow.
Well, Huni, thank you and wishing you luck tomorrow. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. A much more confident Huni, feeling back to his usual self with the 3-0 victory for Echo Fox over Clutch Gaming. Again, as Huni himself even said, an expected result for many. But we had questions around how clean the Echo Fox team would look following that tough best-of-5 that they lost to TSM prior. We wanted to see them do it in few games, and we wanted those games themselves to be relatively clean. Where do you guys feel they fell on that spectrum? You know, how satisfied are you with their performance in this series?
I think they played a lot better than they did against TSM for sure. And a huge part of that just has to be Huni's in much better form because he was sick before. Obviously, nobody likes excuses, but stuff happens. So he looked a lot better today. They were doing their normal style of playing around him, allowing him to start most of the plays. So yeah, I thought Echo Fox did a lot better.
Yeah, and I don't think that Solo is a chump. I think he's a pretty good top laner, and Huni did dominate that lane today. As he mentioned in the interview, winning as Urgot, winning against Urgot is very valuable, especially when it's a new pick in the meta with a lot of unknowns. So that worked, and then the rest of Echo Fox, I think, performed decently well.
Something that will demand attention from
It's
TSM.
worth noting that Solo has Lyra as his jungler, and Huni has Dardoch. I think there's a slight jungle difference.
Maybe.
As the jungler on the desk.
Maybe noticed a couple of those things. I thought Echo Fox looked pretty good. I don't think you're ever going to see a clean Echo Fox win, you know, where it's like 12-0. Perfect
It's not
game.
their style.
They're not going to perfect game you. But, like, I think this is as good of their style as you're hoping to see, especially after the TSM series. Like, Huni died playing aggressive, but usually his team was trading back advantageously on the other side of the map on things like that. So I thought, as a whole, they looked really good. Maybe not right here.
Oof. This hurt.
Oh, we were talking about this on the desk.
It's just efficiency.
Everyone thinks this was a mistake.
It
but
wasn't.
Dardoch wanted to keep his trinket slot open for vision. So
Yep.
good
He needed
play
to
on
get to
him.
those Raptors earlier to start the
Yeah,
counter
he wanted
jungle.
the 25 gold from the Rift Herald because no camps are up.
Right.
So he
Doesn't the
saved-
enemy
what it
also
is.
get 50 if they kill the Rift Herald?
No, it's back down to 25.
Back
I
down to
think when it
25.
first came into the game, it was 50, but it's down
Either
to
way, he didn't
25
want to give
gold
him
on it.
25 gold. You're trying
Right.
to starve him out. You just
Right, an even trade is a better trade for the losing team. So if I'm picking up 25 gold, I'll just leave it on the
Yeah,
ground and
usually-
don't give it back to the other team.
Usually it's not even trade because you take a turn with it. But,
All right,
you know,
Mark,
that's
semantics, details.
nice drag assault. But yeah, I thought they looked really good. And I think especially they were able to win this series without showing too much. I think everyone knew there was going to be Urgot priority. And so I don't think that they're like, we were forced and we had to show our early plan in this long gauntlet run that we're going to have to make. The Cassio, maybe you want to hide that, but at least now people are like second guessing themselves if they're going to have to pick into the Urgot. And if I know Huni is going to have some other stuff prepared as well if it gets banned or something.
I think Urgot's definitely going to be a huge champion of interest for the rest of this gauntlet and maybe leading up to Worlds because he's just, like we were saying earlier, seemingly came out of nowhere and now everybody's playing him. He seems very strong, getting first picked a lot of the time. So
32-minute game here in the third game of the series. Echo Fox again taking it. This means it's the end of the season for Clutch Gaming, so I do want to hit on this squad real quick before we say our farewells to them. You know, an interesting trajectory for a team because of their spring split finish, which of course is what enabled them to even be playing in the gauntlet to begin with, and a whole lot of struggles in the summer split.
I think they were a team that starting out had a lot of synergy in spring, keeping 3/5 of the NV roster and then adding pretty talented players, all things considered, with Febby and Solo to it. And I think it was just one of those things that as time went on, they did not find their stride in exactly how those 5 players work together. I think all of them are very talented individually, but they didn't quite turn it on the way a lot of other teams in summer did.
Yeah, and they had probably about an expectation of around 5th or 6th in the spring, and they overperformed those expectations in the spring. And I think that reset their expectations of being a 3rd or 4th place team, because I do think they underperformed even the spring split expectations in the summer split by finishing 9th. And you can see from the fact that David Lim is no longer with the team, Curry seems to no longer be with the team, there's going to be more changes in the offseason, because 9th place, teams are going to make changes.
Yeah, so you saw the extremes with this team as opposed to the middle of the road kind of.
I thought that Clutch, like you were both saying, they do have very good players. Like, I don't think you can look at any player on Clutch and be like, yeah, you know, this player's just not a good player. He's not going to be able to keep playing. I think that any of these players can continue their professional careers. They're all solid. But it does seem like something was probably happening behind the scenes that we don't know about, because like you were saying, all the management changes, like coaches just leaving right and left. The way they were playing, sometimes I watch a game and I'm like, yeah, this team's very in sync, very coordinated. Sometimes teams just seem like they have absolutely no coordination, or like anti-coordination. Like they just start baiting each other into stuff because they just don't really know what's going on. And it seemed like that was kind of happening to Clutch near the end of the run. So good players, but maybe they just weren't coming together as well as they could have.
Beginning of the offseason for Clutch. Echo Fox, though, with the victory here, gets to move on to face TSM tomorrow. Talking about the player who factored in most to the victory today. Player of the series will be awarded to Huni up there in the top lane. Again, sort of returning to form to some degree.
Yeah, really close call with this one. I think you make a strong argument for either Huni or Dardoch, but specifically what Huni does is he makes plays where there isn't really a play there for most players. This solo kill on Delir, getting the Shen ult, and the flash gifted over. Also a solo kill on Defebiven. Most damage in the game in all 3 games of the series as a top laner, so impressive stuff from him.
On Ornn for one of them too. That's rare.
Yeah, definitely very good stuff out of him. You heard Zyrene kind of talking about the KDA still sometimes a little low, does pick up the deaths as well.
A 76% forward percentage on that Urgot game?
That's higher.
That's high.
Well, he even recall this game? Did he shop in the enemy fountain or what?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing, right? Because I think the KDA point is something that I want to take a look at a little bit as we preface the TSM game, because clearly the opponents get tougher. By virtue of moving forward in the gauntlet, these are teams that have finished higher, progressively higher within the summer playoffs themselves. And so you can expect, having lost a tough 5-game series to TSM prior, that Huni will be a focal point within that series and largely be a linchpin to their success.
And I think you kind of heard in the interview Huni talking about getting some confidence back and some momentum heading into those. I think having this series before they just instantly dive back into TSM actually is probably a good thing, so that he can get out there, kind of crush a series, pick up a player of the series, and then head in with a little bit more confidence than they might have had if they came in cold turkey.
And that's where, Jad, I'm looking at the point you touched on a little bit earlier in this segment, the idea that Huni has both beaten the Urgot matchup and won the Urgot matchup. And so for TSM, with 24 hours, you know, to kind of take their learnings and assess their own strategies coming in, this is something that they now have to largely consider, is Huni's ability to play both sides of that matchup and whether or not they think Hauntzer can perform better than Solo.
Yeah, and I think it was Midos and Mark were disagreeing off air about how you should play against Echo Fox. Should you camp Huni and play topside focus against them, or should you try and leave him alone and play around other parts of the map? You have to look at your jungle top synergy for that. TSM doesn't have great jungle top synergy, but they did win that best of 5. TSM typically wins, in my opinion, when they play through mid and bottom lane. So this is a series where I think Huni would have the opportunity to do that. But when you look at his deaths throughout the summer split, a lot of teams beat them by trying to play through killing Huni.
I do think that if we're talking about the TSM Echo Fox series, Huni had synergy with the other team's jungler in that series, who was
worked real well with Greg.
He and Greg were working super well together.
Same page.
Oh my goodness.
So I do think it will be. Oh, sorry.
No, go
I do think it will be a really cool series, because both teams just look in much better form than they were last time. Obviously, Echo Fox playing with the sick Huni didn't do so hot, and even TSM, like, they've just been getting better and better every single week. I know that they have the Weldon buff, which is insane, by the way.
They're stacking it on top of the Reggie buff, which came
Oh
in
man,
as well.
the Reggie buff only comes out in dire times.
Double stack
so-
the
The
buffs,
Worlds buff that didn't get them. The finals buff didn't work.
Well,
but
playoffs buff
just
hasn't worked in
just
a
make
little
another
while.
one
That
up.
one definitely fell off.
That one
Got some
timed out.
nerfs,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the Reggie buff is huge. The
It
Weldon
is.
buff is huge. So I expect it'll be a close series. I can't even predict which way it's going to go, honestly.
Good thing you're not here tomorrow.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna
have
say.
the
Dip out
prediction.
on the hard
Feels
series.
bad, man.
Quick, what is
Bad
it?
From the death.
What is it?
Who's
If you
gonna
had
win?
to predict it right now, what would you do?
I think TSM will win.
Okay.
3-2 though.
But you think it'll be a much closer? Yeah,
I think it'll be
another
close.
5-game series. Well, Echo Fox started the weekend with a 3-0. We'll see if they can continue their climb through the bracket presented by Jersey Mike Subs. Tomorrow, they'll get a rematch against TSM, where the winner of that match will face Cloud9 on Sunday. That is, of course, happening over tomorrow and Sunday, as mentioned. Thank you, Meteos, so much for joining us here for this quick and tidy series, as it was. Now, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the regional qualifiers. Good night.